18-Day Campaign Against Violence Against Women and Children is an annual international campaign that aims to raise awareness about the various forms of violence faced by women and children and to advocate for their rights and protection. This campaign begins on November 25th, which is the International Day of the Elimination of Violence Against Women, and ends on December 12th, which is the International Day of the Rights of the Child. Violence against women encompasses a wide range of abusive behaviors that are primarily targeted at women because of their gender. Over the next episodes, we will delve deeply into many issues related to violence and their impact, the many inspiring stories and practical steps towards a safer society. Together, let's raise our voices for change. This is 𝐕𝐢𝐴𝐺𝐻, and welcome to our 18-Day Campaign.
Important disclaimer. This podcast may contain content, language, and discussions that could be unsuitable for certain audiences. Listener discretion is advised. The views and opinions expressed by the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the podcast platform. Parental guidance is recommended. Additionally, please be aware that this episode includes discussions about violence against women. A trigger warning is issued, and we encourage sensitive listeners to exercise caution. Thank you for understanding.
Hi, and we're back. Welcome to our 18-day campaign to end violence against women. And we are now on the topic of cyberbullying. And we will now give and show to you the possible effects of bullying. So the potential effects of cyberbullying are as follows. Though traditional bullying is known to have adverse effects on victims, academic performance can suffer, and anxiety and depression can develop, and these issues may continue into adulthood. And very much like traditional bullying, cyberbullying can have some severe negative consequences for the victim. So the victims may experience the following effects after being cyberbullied. Decreased self-esteem. So bullying of all kinds is often detrimental to the victim's self-esteem. Victims may believe that all of their peers dislike them and develop issues with trust and confidence. Emotional distress. Cyberbullying can lead to a shift in mood or emotion in the victim. The constant stress of the attacks can make victims prone to outbursts of frustration, sadness, or anger as they try to cope with the bullying. Physical symptoms. Victims may begin to develop frequent headaches, stomach aches, and trouble sleeping. Though they are not attacked physically by the bully, the ongoing stress of the harassment may still take a physical toll as the victim grows increasingly stressed and anxious. Depression. Cyberbullying can cause victims to develop depression. The constant stress and lowered self-esteem can cause them to feel hopeless, unloved, and sad. Suicidal thoughts. A study published in Science Daily indicates that cyberbullying victims are twice as likely to attempt suicide or engage in self-harming behaviors. Continuing in suicidal thoughts, bullying does not directly cause victims to commit suicide, but it does put them at higher risk in doing so. As with traditional bullying, these issues may persist even if the victim is no longer suffering from cyberbullying, continuing well into adulthood. So how do we identify cyberbullying? As discussed above, one of the most concerning aspects of what cyberbullying is includes how difficult it is to recognize. Still, teachers should always be on the lookout for signs that a student is being a bully or being bullied. Some of the warning signs of cyberbullying may overlap with those of traditional bullying. However, there are a few things that you should look for in a child's behavior. Example, anxiety or anger. So we have to pay attention to the teenager's mood, both during and after they use a mobile phone or computer. Do they consistently seem anxious, nervous, or otherwise upset when spending time online? Do they get angry or have outbursts when they are online? Secretive. Has your teen become secretive or defensive about their online activities? If they unexpectedly shut off devices when others approach, refuse to discuss what they do online, or get upset or agitated when you try to discuss this with them, they may be attempting to hide the fact that they are being bullied. Avoiding technology. So we have to take note of the frequency of the amount of time the teen spends online, especially if they have always enjoyed it. If they have suddenly stopped using their devices as frequently or possibly altogether, they may be attempting to avoid a bully. Becoming withdrawn. If the teenager has always been quiet or introverted, we have to observe their social behavior. Do they want to spend more time away from their friends and peers? Have they suddenly started commenting on their lack of friends or how there is drama at school? Have they been pushing away people they're close to and wanting to spend more time alone? So this is a sign of becoming withdrawn. Increase in messages. Has the teenager started to receive a lot more messages or emails than they usually do? Are they from numbers or people you don't recognize? Is your teenager evasive when you ask them who is contacting them? Depression. Has your teen's mood changed? Do they often seem sad or depressed? Has there been a drastic change in their eating or sleeping patterns? Are they claiming to be sick more often to avoid going to school or social events? Have they lost interest in other events or hobbies? One of these symptoms alone may not be immediate cause for concern, but if you begin to notice your teen continually exhibiting many of these behaviors, it may be time to address your concerns with them. So why does the teenagers or children do not discuss this? Many teenagers hide the fact that they're being bullied online or in person from their parents, teachers, and other adults in their life. Please do not take it personally if your teen does not tell you about being bullied. It is an intense, confusing experience that everyone responds to differently. And there are many reasons they may choose not to talk about it with anyone. They may feel embarrassed or ashamed, worried that their online privileges will be taken away, or simply not know what cyberbullying is. They may fear that the bully will retaliate or the abuse will intensify if they speak up, or they may just want to figure out how to handle this situation on their own. Also, be on the lookout for warning signs that your teen might be bullying their peers. So, sila naman ang nagiging bully. It may be unexpected or shocking, but cyberbullying is becoming more common. Not only the bad kids, no, quote unquote, are bullies, and it doesn't mean you have failed as a parent. It is incredibly important to look for warning signs that your teenager may be a bully. Not only are they deliberately trying to hurt others, but it may also be their way of seeking attention or help. Some of the signs to look for include, so we have to look at the signs. Many accounts, no? Does your teen have a large number of social media accounts or various websites? Are they under other names? Do you recognize the name listed on the account? They may be attempting to anonymously harass someone or infiltrate others' accounts. Secretive. Is your teenager secretive about what they do online? Do they turn off or hide their screen when others approach them while they are online? Are they evasive or hostile when you ask them questions about their online activities? Or do they get irritated or annoyed if you interrupt them while they are using a phone or computer? Long hours online. Pay attention to the amount of time your teen spends online. Is it excessive, especially compared to how much they have been spending time on the internet on the past? Are they obsessive about spending time on their devices or checking their messages? Do they prefer to spend time online at times of the day when they are less likely to be supervised, like before you get home from work or in the middle of the night? Lack of remorse. Does your teenager seem to not care if their words or actions hurt others? Do they make snarky or rude remarks, comments, especially when using their phone or computer? Is this callousness new or previously out of character for your teen? New friend group. So these are still signs your teen might be a cyberbully, no? Has your teen recently made new friends who seem to be mean or aggressive? Do these friends have a history of bullying others themselves? Has your teenager become preoccupied with impressing them or becoming more popular with them? Peer pressure from new friends who seem aggressive can motivate many teens to start cyberbullying others. Becoming withdrawn. Has your teen abandoned activities and hobbies in favor of spending more time online? Do they no longer want to spend time with close friends or family members, preferring to spend time alone with their devices? Do they appear to be depressed? Again, one of these warning signs may not be a definite indicator that your teenager is cyberbullying others. Pay careful attention to your teen's behavior, as some of these signs overlap with those that indicate they are a victim of cyberbullying. So we now go to the reasons why teenagers cyberbully others. The reasons why one teen chooses to bully another are complex and varied. They may want to feel powerful, feel the need to act out for attention, or feel like they must control others. While each person's motives are different, similar factors may come into play when teenagers choose to cyberbully. Boredom. So some teams may simply be bored or craving attention. In a way, it is a way to add excitement or drama to their lives with very little effort. Cyberbullying often will become a new form of online entertainment. Peer pressure. Some bullies may be trying to impress their peers, become more popular, or maintain their social status. Being part of a group can give people a false sense of security that their actions are acceptable or normal. Revenge. Teens may choose to cyberbully someone because they feel wronged by that person or that victim deserves it. The bully may feel that their behavior is justified due to the pain the victim previously inflicted upon them. Anonymity. Cyberbullies can embrace the chance to be anonymous by doing all of their harassment online under another identity. They may feel like they will not get caught or do not have to face their victim directly. Ignorance. Some cyberbullies may simply not realize that what they're doing is, in fact, bullying. They may think it is just a joke and may not take the situation seriously. So how do we prevent cyberbullying? As cyberbullying becomes more common and widespread among teenagers and young adults, it becomes increasingly important for parents and teachers to prevent it from happening, to intervene when it does, and to respond appropriately to victims and bullies alike. Sharing cyberbullying information is a good way to start. So we know, prevention is better than cure, and when it is already there, we know how to address it, to intervene, and to help in the rehabilitation, or reformation of the victims and bullies alike. So, enforced information and education is the key. So we have these guidelines for appropriate internet use. So even before they're old enough to use the internet, we have to initiate conversations about internet safely. We have to make sure that we are open with our teenagers. We'll have to likely need to have new discussions as their online activities change and new safety concerns arise. So these are some important topics to discuss with our teenagers before they go online. Privacy. So we may teach our young adult about the importance of maintaining privacy online. We have to make sure that they have to know to never share personal information such as physical addresses and phone numbers, especially with strangers online. And we have to ensure they know to never share any of their passwords, their accounts, even with their close friends. About strangers, no, we let them know that the same rules apply to strangers online as they do in person. Make sure they know they should be careful about or avoid altogether talking to strangers online. Tell them you do not always know what someone's intentions are, and some people may try to befriend you in able to hurt you. Permanence. We must remind our teen that once something is put online, it cannot be ever deleted, even if the post is removed. We have to let them know that they cannot anticipate or control who may be eventually seeing that content, so that they must think very carefully before sharing things online. We also have to set clear guidelines about how to expect our young adult to behave on the internet. We have to let them know what we expect them to behave as ethically online as you would expect in person. Consider having our teen sign a youth pledge and signing a parent pledge yourself. Remind them that there may be consequences if they violate the pledge, and ask them to help hold you accountable as well. Encourage them to ask you questions if anything is unclear when they are online. In general, to internet safety practices, we have to educate our teen about what cyberbullying is and how to identify it. Make sure they know cyberbullying is not a joke. Just because their friends are doing it for fun does not mean it is acceptable or that they have to participate also. So we're still on the topic of educating your teen on cyberbullying. So we have to emphasize the golden rule, no? That our teen should treat others the way that they want to be treated. It still applies when they are online. You have to teach them what it means to be a good digital citizen. We have to keep the lines of communication open. Let them know they can always come to talk to us if they experience or encounter any cyberbullying online. We have to reassure our teen that they will not face repercussions or a loss of computer privileges if they are being bullied. We have to provide our teenager with the tools to deal with anyone who is rude to them online, including a cyberbully. Remember that informing an adult about cyberbullying can be difficult for teens, so that they need to be prepared enough to handle the situation on their own. So we will now watch a video on what is cyberbullying, and we'll try to differentiate if it is cyberbullying or not.
Cyberbullying happens when someone posts or shares harmful or mean content about someone else on the internet, social media, apps, texts, video games, or digital devices. Take this example. Maddie took a screenshot of her classmate Shonda's photo from social media. She then used an app to make Shonda look like a monster in the photo and added some insulting words. After sharing it in a group text, some classmates replied with hurtful, mean comments about Shonda. Others laughed and shared it with others. Is it cyberbullying? Yes. Maddie wanted to embarrass Shonda, and by doing so, she encouraged others to do the same. What can Shonda do? Take screenshots of the cyberbullying. It's painful, but Shonda needs to document what happened in case it happens again. Shonda can also block the group texts. She should tell what happened to an adult she trusts. Together, they may want to report what happened to the school. How about this one? Malcolm plays multiplayer video games online with people he only knows through gaming. A few of them have added him on social media. One player, Lucas123X, or Lucas, used to chat with him a lot while playing, asking a bunch of personal questions. Malcolm answered and didn't think much about it. But one day, Lucas posted all kinds of personal information about Malcolm on social media, mixed in with lies and comments about his ethnicity and gaming skills. Is it cyberbullying? Yes. Lucas was trying to harm Malcolm and his reputation. What can Malcolm do? He can take screenshots of the posts and block Lucas on social media. What Lucas did may have also violated the rules of the social media site and the gaming platform. Malcolm should report Lucas's behavior to the sites. He can also avoid a game if he knows Lucas is one of the players. Malcolm can tell an adult about what happened. Together, they can help determine if they should report it to the police. And remember, never give out personal information to strangers. Here's another one. Jaden and his friend Dylan were having fun, kidding around after school. Jaden took photos and posted them online. One photo showed Dylan making a weird face, which they both found funny, but other kids who saw it started posting mean comments about Dylan's face in the photo. Dylan was upset by the photo and the comments. Is it cyberbullying? No. If Jaden didn't mean any harm and he's willing to delete the photo, it is not cyberbullying. If Jaden doesn't delete the photo after seeing the negative comments being posted about his friend Dylan, he could be contributing to cyberbullying though. What can Dylan do? He can ask Jaden to remove the post and, in the future, to ask permission before sharing photos of him. If Jaden is a friend, he'll respect Dylan's request, apologize, and delete the photo.
Ayan, so no, nakikita natin na kung ano yung cyberbullying at anong hindi cyberbullying. But the main common things about cyberbullying is yung intent, no, to discredit or threat or to make fun, no? But yung ano naman, yung walang intent naman, pwede naman palang pakiusapan. So hindi lang tayo din masyadong mag-overreact, no? So we will take a few minutes break and we will continue after this few words from our friends from NATCO. So now we will give you some practical tips on how to deal with a cyberbully. So we have to highlight the importance of common sense when dealing with a cyberbully. First is do not engage. No? Encourage your teenager or your children to avoid engaging with cyberbullying. It means that it can be difficult to ignore purposely inflammatory comments, but remind your teen that responding to their messages will only intensify the bully's efforts, and they are doing this to get a reaction. There is a greater chance that the bullying will stop if your teen ignores them. Block them. Block the cyberbully. Tell your teen that they should block the phone number and social media accounts of anyone who bullies them. This is especially important if your teenager has trouble ignoring them or the bullies are very persistent. Bullies may make other accounts or recruit friends to continue tormenting your teenager, so encourage them to block those accounts too. Change contact information if the ignoring and blocking the cyberbullies does not help or intensify their efforts. Tell your teen that you can always change your contact information. Be sure they know that you are happy to help them update their phone number and email addresses and other social media accounts. Make a record. So you ask your teen to document all messages, comments, or other abuses from bullies online. Then teach them how to take a screenshot and ask them not to delete any messages. Having proof of their bullying will be helpful if you need to contact any authorities. So we have our National Bureau of Investigation, our Criminal Investigation and Detection Group, and our NTC. They may help us find this source, no, of this cyberbullying. Though it may be easier said than done, we can also encourage our teen to be offline more often. Stepping away from their devices and focusing on any other activity may help distract our teenager from cyberbullying. We have to also monitor social media activity. We have to find the right balance between supervising our teenagers' online activities and respecting their privacy. We have to talk with our teen about the degree to which we'll keep an eye on them. They may not be thrilled at the prospect, but explaining that this is important to maintain their safety online. So we must be sure to always be open with our teen if we choose to monitor their social media accounts or text messages. We have to avoid still and respect their privacy, no, by avoiding to looking at their personal content or messages without their consent. It could be a huge breach of privacy. So thank you, and that is all for our cyberbullying, and see you in our continuing days of our 18-day campaign to end violence against women and children. Bye-bye for now.